Hi, this is Jakey, and welcome back to part 2 of my Steinberg studio session here in Gothenburg.
You try to kill us, but we'll stand the end of days. Consumed by greed, you trade your hearts away. You don't practice what you preach while you're planning your own dismay.
So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to show you how to make a song like I do it from the start. I put a chord track in here with a chord progression from one of the Cyhra songs from the upcoming album, which sounds like this. Which is pretty okay, but I'm also going to show you another way to do. Maybe we're working with this chord progression, maybe we work with something else. Sometimes when you're not a piano player, you don't really know how to dim, sus, put add chords or stuff like that. So I use Tune Tracks easy keys like this. I just take whatever is in here now, I throw it in on the channel, I take this away, and this one sounds like this. Also pretty sad, right? But I don't know which chords it is. I can then mark this, go up to project, go to chord track, create chord symbols. I can include bass notes, I could tensions, detect arpeggios, whatever. I push OK, and la, all of a sudden I have the chords. I can show you like this. So it's all here, exactly what the piano plays. What I can do with this now is that I turn the chord track off. Just play this. Let's say we use that for 2 times. I duplicate it by putting Control D. I also want to move this, so I push down Alt, move it over, then I'll have the same chord progression over here. And then maybe I don't want to use it here, so I take it away for now. Because when we come in here, I want something to happen to it. But now I have the chords already, so let's try to just put one of the keyboards that I already put in here. It's an arpeggio, and the arpeggio is Steinberg. It's the tribe work again. And let's listen to how it sounds together. Maybe we want it to be like that. Maybe we want it to sound like this. Or we want it to sound like it actually sounds something. That's probably not the way we want it, but you could play around with it a lot. Like put symphonic orchestra on. This is probably the way we should go. And now we're probably going in somewhere to where we want to put some vocals on it. So we're not using that for now. It might work. Nah, it sounds like we're going to use this instead. So what we're doing is we're copy paste it again. But right now I don't think that we want it to be all these fancy things. So what we could do is to go up here and take away the 9. We take away the E, B, B, G. We just want to have like the how do you say it, the basic foundations of the chords. So what I did now is that I took the exact same chord structure, but I took away some chords. I just made them the like C minor, E minor, and stuff like that. I kept some of the nice things, but now I only have it on the chord track, so it just sounds like this. There's different ways to do it, to move this up to get it to MIDI. I could mark them, I could hold control, and I could just move them up, and it will be like this. And then it will all be individual clips, but I can just glue them together. So now I have them. Because if I do it that way, I don't have to have the chord track on. Right now the symphony orchestra is on here. So maybe I want to do that again, because the chord track is really good to just go through, like work through, like what kind of sound do I want now. But we decided that the symphonic orchestra thing is going to be what we're going to add on to the easy keys in the first place. So let's find the symphonic orchestra, move this down to this part, glue it together. There's also different ways to do that. And mute this. And as you can see, sometimes this might happen when you're not careful enough, but then you just move it along. And then we come into the verse now, and I decided to put the chords on the piano for now. And this is where I sing something beautiful. And now I can also play around with this thing on the chord track. So let's try the something here. You hear, you have to go in and change some stuff, but that's the... Something is happening there, but I don't know what it is. So we'll just do it like this. Ooh. Then we just copy paste it. And when I do that, I push down Alt, this Alt, there, boom. Great thing to do. And if you're, another good thing to know is that if you're moving something downwards and you want it to be on the right spot, if I just push Control, it will stick, which is a really good thing. Yeah, everything looks cool. So we should probably want to have some kind of rhythmic thing going on here as well. There's tons of different ways to work, but now we're working fast. We're making a song in 5 minutes. So what I usually do is to write something here on the drum setup. I make some drums here. Let's see where we are to begin with. Yeah, we'll start. Here's where I'm going to start to sing. So I opened that one up. I just drew it there and push F2 to remove that thing. For now, we're just going to do it like that. I mark them. I duplicate them with Control D. I take every second note. Take the velocity down a little bit so you have some kind of human feeling. What you can also do is to take every second of these. I'm also putting down Control all the way while I'm marking. Want it to sound like a train for now. We duplicate this a couple of times. This is of course not how it's going to sound in the end, but just to have some kind of feeling of the song is moving forward. So now we're now we set that up. We have some kind of rhythm and whatever not coming in here for the ground setup. We probably want to make some kind of great chorus or bridge coming up to this, and then we're just singing on it. So that's how I usually set up the songs, and we've made an idea for a song in less than, what is it, 10 minutes? It sounds like this now then. Then you start to sing something. I used to be alone, but now I'm here, showing you how to make it. No, I don't know. Whatever. That's the way I usually set up songs, and you see how quick it goes. And this leaves a lot of time and room for improvisation, sitting with the keyboard, sitting with the guitar, but instead of sitting there like, you can get the help out from the program directly to make you inspired, and instead of using all your energy on what am I gonna do, like sitting with the guitar trying to make up chord structures or whatever, this takes no time at all. So I really love this way. So as you can see, I made an arrangement now, and what I did was to use everything that is inbuilt with the chord track and everything like that when it comes to the arrangement of the notes and scales and such. So let's listen to it, and we'll break it down afterwards. So there you have it. It's like an intro, it's like a soft verse, it's some heavy part where some gangster rappers should come in and do their thing, and some short breakdown, and the chorus is actually the same thing as the rest of the verse, but with some add-ons to it. So this is how it worked when you have the chord track and everything, the abilities around that, and I love it. And it's, as I said before, it's going so fast. So now we have the structure. We can add some vocals on it. We could add guitars. We could add whatever. But as you saw in my first example, I just put the hi-hats on there, but which then came into be a groove instead, which is really cool. So as you heard, we started with the plain piano, and then we brought in some strings, which I took from this part, from the chord track. I changed it a little bit because like on the piano here, there's a lot of piano. You can see it here. It's in C minor 9, C minor 7, blah, blah, blah. I broke that down to just have the C minor, etc., etc. And I put that down on a Halion Sonic using a warm orchestra string, and then it sounds like this. Continues on into a lead note to just emphasize the verse a little bit, which soloed sounds really, really odd, but in the whole when vocals will come on top of it, it's really, really good. And of course, you always have to use this. The reversed cymbal, cymbal.vav is something everyone should have on their desktops because that's the thing that you use the most when you're composing music. It saves your ass every day. If something is feeling like something's missing, just import that, reverse it, and you're done. So on the verse, where it's supposed to be a verse, I added some piano, which sounds like this without any effects on it. I can just show you here. Use just a stereo delay. Without it, do it like this. Move it away. It sounds like this. So your piano teacher would have been really proud of you. But with some delay, it sounds like this. And together with the rest, it will sound like this. And then you have to imagine someone singing something rhythmical over this, which will, I think, will make the whole thing pretty interesting. That something is happening in the background that is not really a lead melody, but it's something that makes you listen to it a little bit more. So for the drums, it's set up with Halion Sonic as well. It's one track which is the kick and reverb, clap, and rides and hi-hat. So the kick sounds like this. Your neighbors would love it. And then the rides and hi-hat sounds like it. As I said before, when you're programming drums, you always have more hands that you have than you have naturally. But it's not up to us to figure out. It's up to the drummer that is going to play it, or the drum machine, or whatever we're having on this song. And then we have a reversed clap. Which we actually added up like this. So the reversed clap is here. We have reverence, it's the name of it, sorry. It's a compressor that is side chained and an EQ to level it out in the end. Open it up like that. And together with that one, we also have a real snare drum sounding like this together. And all together, the whole thing sounds like this. I think it sounds really, really cool. Adding to that, we have a bass using another plugin called Massive. Really, really cool. The cool thing is that with the Massive, that plugin in general, the third Amaranthe album that we made is called Massive Addictive. And we actually named it that because we used shitloads of Massive on it. So that's Curiosa or whatever it's called. So for the bass, I'm going to show you how it sounds without the add-ons that I'm using. Without it, it just sounds like a saw bass. It sounds like this. Pretty boring, right? So the sounds, when I'm adding these things, I'm going to show you putting them on one by one. I first start with the Studio EQ. It sounds like this. Adding the low end. And then together with the bit crusher, it sounds like this. Then adding a soft clipper on top of that. But it's a little bit noisy, so we add EQ at the end to just level it out, just soften it. So the final result. Really cool, right? So for the chorus, that is actually the same thing as the verse, but we make some add-ons to it. I choose the Halion Sonic and the acoustic guitar, so the nylon string guitar. I really like these things, especially for demo purposes, because you know how hard it is to get the right sound of an acoustic guitar. And if you just want to have that feeling on your song, the Halion Sonic sounds really, really good. And I'm going to show you how it sounds here. I haven't done much with it actually, or actually I haven't done anything. I'm just using the sound as it is. Sounds more like a harp, but and together with the rest, it sounds. What I like with it is that you don't really feel that the verse and the chorus is the same anymore, because like this brings something extra to it, so that your ear actually thinks that it's a new part. It's still the same chord structure, but that's what it. We also added an arpeggio on top of this, which is stripe work, which sounds like this. These two works really good together, and it makes the whole sound a bit bigger. Something like that. So this was what we made from nothing, and within Cubase, and I love to work this way. I don't know if anyone else is doing this the way I do, but making music has no rules. You just do it as you want, and what comes out is either good or bad. And I think this actually ended up being really, really good for the amount of time that we actually put into it. So when I'm done with a song like this, when I work it in the way that I just shown you, what I usually do then is to sit humming, like ba 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 da ba da, coming up with nonsense lyrics. So I hum the lyrics. It could be whatever, but it comes subconscious. And what comes up in my mind is pretty funny, because like usually I use a lot of the things that I'm just humming, that I'm just making up on the fly in the real lyric, because for some odd reason your brain wants to tell you something, and it just comes out there, and you start writing about something that you apparently been thinking about, but you didn't really know. So that's pretty cool. But when it comes to lyrics after that, I usually do that a week or two before I go into the studio, the real studio, to record the real album. Because for me, the melodies are the most important thing on a song in general. So I try to make the melodies to perfection, till perfection. And when I'm done with that, I listen to the songs a lot, like in headphones, at home, in the car, to just try to find the right words to fit with the right sound to the melody. Sometimes it goes like this, sometimes it takes weeks. The best thing you could ever do is to actually go to New York, because like if you're in New York, you get inspired and you have inspiration all around. That's what happened on the Cyhra album, and I'm really satisfied with how the lyrics came out on that album. When it comes to arranging the song, I always do an arrangement by myself or with my co-writers that I used to write with. I can have one idea where like the keyboards is really strong or in the forefront, or with the guitar or a melody or the whatever, but I always try not to overdo it too much, because like when you're recording it for real, you will always have another drum sound, another guitar sound, and everything like that, and also a producer that comes in with fresh ideas. So usually you have like an idea of how a song is supposed to sound like, but when you're mixing it, usually it's changing to something completely different. So I always try to have like an open mind for the arrangement, because I try to do more layers that I usually need, so that I could take stuff away instead of sitting in the studio thinking we're missing something here. So that's one good thing to think about, I think, to overdo it a little bit. Just do some extra strings, do some extra keyboards, some extra guitar melodies, so on, so that you can remove stuff instead of feeling the pressure that you have to, in the mixing state, like, oh, we have to add more things here. So if I get to the mixing state and I feel that, oh, something is not really working here, I'm going to show you something. I usually always bring my second interface, which is an UR22. I have it here in this nice book. I always bring it. And the funny thing with this one is that it's this small. You can keep it in your bag, backpack, whatever. And it works super for all the, I just take my project to my laptop. I always have my laptop with me to the studio where we're mixing. And in case of something is missing or I have to add something, I just connect that thing and it works super with whatever I've been doing before. I actually did some A and B tests for some different small sound interfaces like that, and it's not because it's just Steinberg, it's because it's actually the best. I had two different, I'm not going to name them now, but this was outstanding in comparison on latency and everything. So that's what I always bring. That was everything that I got for you. Thank you for watching. I had a blast. For more info about me, check out jakey.se or cyhra.com. Check out Amaranthe on Spotify, me on Facebook and Instagram, Jakey Official. And I hope I can do this another time, because I had a blast. So thank you very much, and until next time, see you.